hopefully we'll be lucky again this Saturday. Not lucky, we'll have to earn it, but we got to play a Northwestern Wildcat team that was leading Penn State late in the third quarter at Ryan Field, and now we got to take on this Northwestern team that's beaten us 3 of the last 4 times they've played us. Do you know what the only team to have beaten Iowa 2 times in Kinnick Stadium since 2002 is? Well, you know where I'm going with this. It's Northwestern. So they're not afraid to come in here and get a win. Jordan, what are going to be the keys to this game?
The keys of this game include Pat Fitzgerald and his team. They're going to come out fired up. We have to, and I know I've said this a lot of games, we cannot let them believe. Northwestern is a team that is they're centered very much around the emotional leader that they have as a head coach. Once he gets them believing, if they go into halftime with a lead, you know, this isn't an Indiana team that gave up a 25-point lead the prior week before playing us. This is a Northwestern team that has come back from 25 down at halftime against an Indiana team to win the game. They can believe. They have clearly showed, you know, besides the fourth quarter, they came out of halftime completely fine against Penn State. We just have to make sure we jump out early, maybe not even get a bunch of points, but we cannot let them drive down the field with the simplicity that Indiana did this past weekend to open up the game. Our defense needs to come out on fire. Our front 4 need to match the intensity of their defensive front 4, who really gave Ricky Stanzi a hard time inside Kinnick Stadium last year. We just have to, and we would have beaten them last year had we held on to the ball. And that's another big thing, you know, because last year we had that game won. Andy Brodell fumbled, Sean Green got knocked out and fumbled the ball, and those are 2 crucial plays that led to Northwestern winning last year. We've got to eliminate mistakes and make sure that we can control the ball game from the opening kickoff. Even though Arkansas State got close, we never trailed in that game. We need to make it very similar, even if we end up winning the game by 2. You know, we got to go ahead and just come out on fire.
Are we going to win it close? Do you got a score, or are we going to kind of jump out ahead in this one?
Okay, I think we're going to jump out ahead in this one. I was thinking about it earlier. I think Iowa's going to win this game. I'm going to go 34-13. That's a lot of points for us, but last week we ended up putting up a lot of points. And Northwestern, you know, they might break a few plays, get a few drives going just because of the way their offense functions. But I think in the long run, we're going to take over, maybe have another dominant fourth quarter performance again, even though I'd rather us just take care of business in the first.
Mike?
Yeah, going back to what you said, if we have 6 turnovers this week, they will beat us. Northwestern is a more disciplined version of Indiana. Pat Fitzgerald, with the amount of talent that he has, if you look at his team on paper, you wonder how he can win games. But what they've won, you know, they've won 5 games this year, and they were competitive against Penn State for 3 quarters. They really weren't competitive when they had to bring in their backup quarterback when Kafka went out. So if he stays in the whole game, it might be a little closer in the end. But Iowa cannot turn the ball over that many times. I mean, 1 or 2 turnovers maybe, but we've got to control the ball, control time of possession. The thing about Mike Kafka that scares me is that we can get pressure on him, but he's the kind of quarterback that can break out of that pressure, turn broken plays into huge plays, and really give us some problems. You know, every week I've been picking the Hawkeyes to win big or kind of win big and pull away. This week I think it's close. I think Iowa wins 24-20. Northwestern knows how to play against Iowa, and I think we're going to find a way to win. I think it's going to be kind of like Arkansas State in the sense that we'll lead most of the game. Northwestern will hang in there, score late, and Iowa's defense will hold on to allow us to get the victory. But we can't turn the ball over, and we have to match their intensity, like you said, Jordan.
Completely agree with you. I think it's going to be a close game. And really, last week seemed like a close game, even though the score didn't indicate it. But last year, we had 5 turnovers in this game. Last week, we had 6 turnovers, like these guys have talked about. We can't do that this week against Northwestern because Northwestern's going to come in here hungry. They come in here believing they're going to win. And Northwestern is a top 20 passing offense in the country right now. And I know judging by the numbers they put on the final scores, you know, on the scoreboard, it might not seem that way, but they still are. But Iowa leads the nation in interceptions. So hopefully we'll be able to force some mistakes by Northwestern and capitalize on that. But I just have a feeling it's going to be a close game. I mean, after last week and then, of course, with the big game next week, I just have a feeling it's going to be a close game. I don't really have like a reason to make
How
it
about
seem like
the
we're gonna jump
entire
out ahead.
season and the way it's gone?
That's true.
There's your reason
Oh, the entire
enough.
well,
There's your reason enough to think it's going to be a close game.
So I think we get it done. And I like how you guys said it's going to be like the Arkansas State game, because that game we were in control the whole time, but the final score really was a lot closer than it seemed like. I think it's going to be that type of a game on Saturday, but I just hope we get the lead and not give it up. I don't care if it's close or not. I just want to go into Columbus, into the Horseshoe, unbeaten, and have our Big Ten title on the line next week. But
yeah, I was just going to make one more note about Northwestern. They don't have a running back, and Kafka as their quarterback. They don't have anyone who's rushed for over 100 yards in a game this year. So we need to make sure that we do not allow them to find a running game this week. Because if they find a running game and can run for 100, 150 yards against our defense, we're going to have a really hard time winning the game. So make them one-dimensional, make Kafka run all over the field and try to beat us. Because I think in the end, it may work for a little while, but we make great second half adjustments, and I think in the end it'll benefit us.
And Northwestern's a good football team too. They're a team, we've won some close games. They've won 3 of their wins have been by a combined 10 points. So they're a team that's also getting used to winning close ones. They had a game very similar to ours in which they beat Indiana. They're down 28-3. They found a way to win that one. Just hopefully they won't find a way to win this game this Saturday. But we want to hear from you. If you have any comments you want to let us know about, just email us. Our email is uioist@gmail.com. We got some old episodes, and we're putting more up on our YouTube account, uioist. So for Mike Rabon and Jordan Loperena, I'm Alex Solsma. Good night and go Hawks. We got the Wildcats this weekend. This is Incompetent Sports Talk.